If green is not your color story, I don't think this palette is for you. And that's no shade, it's just the truth. If green ain't your color, stay away. Also, I filmed part of the video, I didn't have my mic on, but it's okay because it really wasn't the part where I was talking, so it works. Let's go ahead and get started with the video. Hey guys, this is Ashleigh. Welcome on back to my channel. So if you're wondering, and if you've been on the rock and you haven't seen this little baby right here, this is the Arrow palette or the Inspired palette, inspired by a show that I really don't know the name of. What's the show? Arrow? I don't know what the show name was, but it's a superhero. I don't even want to say it's a superhero. Let me tell you something. I don't know anything about the show. I don't know anything about the show. I've never heard of the show. I thought it was like some type of Batman. I was like, maybe I missed that Batman movie, okay? Because it has You Failed This City in here. So I know that Sandra created this off of one of her favorite shows. This was like her dream palette. She wanted to see this come to fruition, and she was inspired by the television show. I know nothing about the television show, but I do know a beautiful palette when I see one. So, like I said, if green is not your color story, this may not be for you, but I like green shadows. Let me go ahead and introduce myself before I get carried away. So, apparently I've forgotten how to introduce myself or what my little Latin is. But if you are new to the channel, welcome. And if you're older but goodie, welcome on back. My name is Ashleigh. I have a doctorate in pharmacy and I love makeup. So that's how you get Dr. Ash and her makeup, but please just call me Ash or Ashleigh. And eyeshadow is my jam. One of my most favorite things to talk about. Yeah. That's the tagline. There we go. All right, so a little bit about the Inspired palette, okay? So the Inspired palette is also, I think, the Arrow palette. It retails for $68. It is currently sold out, but it will be coming back soon for another pre-order, and it is limited edition. So if you're thinking about it, you should go ahead and grab it, okay? So a few product facts, and I'm getting this from the Adept Cosmetics website. It says, my name is Adept Cosmetics. For years, I was stranded in the sea of cosmetic companies with one only goal. Make my dream palette inspired by one of my favorite guilty pleasures of all time. Now, fulfill my lifelong wish to use the skills as a cosmetics business owner and make the palette come to life. To do this, I must become someone else. I must become something else. So that's a part of the show, like I said, that I know nothing about. So like I mentioned, the palette is limited edition. They also recommend that you keep your palette in a cool and dry area, which I suggest with basically any type of eyeshadow product. And then it says the shimmers in this palette are very shimmery and will require a good primer to prevent fallout and creasing. And please be aware of this before purchasing. So I usually always recommend you using like a NYX glitter glue to just help the shadows adhere even after priming your eyes. So there are 6 Miracle multichromes, okay? There's 1 duochrome shimmery glitter as topper, 2 duochrome shimmers, 1 miracle shimmer, and this is MI Miracle shimmer, and 5 matte pigments. So this is actually the first time that we're actually seeing 5 matte pigments in an Adept cosmetic palette. The only other palette that I can think of that had the most amount of matte shades was actually the Heather Austin palette that had 4, and this one has 1 entire row, and we're actually getting 2 rows of shimmers. So a little different format where we're getting 3 rows in this particular Adept palette. The palette is 100% free of glitter and mineral oil, and the palette is vegan, okay? It is magnetic with a 23 millimeter removable magnetic pans, okay? And it says that you will or possibly have some staining depending on your skin complexion with a few of these shades, okay? The packaging is also 30% recycled plastic, and it's also saying that there might be a few variations in the colors based off of the tablets or the screens, okay? So Okay, so as far as the Miracle multichromes, okay, and it's also known as Miracle, is a super solider serum created by the Japanese during World War II that causes enhanced physical abilities once injected. So I think that's like actually a play on the show, perhaps, okay? So if you want to see all about the ingredients and all that good stuff, just go ahead and jump onto the Adept Cosmetics website. And we have an emblem here. This is from the show. And then on the back, it says Adept Cosmetics. It's really pretty. It does also give me slightly Natasha Denona Metropolis palette vibes. Just a little bit with the outside. So miraculously, I have 5 looks for you here today. I started off with the mind of doing 3. And next thing I know, ended up with 5. So let's go ahead and get started. Salty. Salty AF. That is me. I am salty, okay? So, memory card was full and I'm over here talking about, you know, about to start talking about these 2 looks right here with the palette. And, you know, my memory card is full. So I went to go change it, right? And then I looked over at my mic. Mic not on. Salty. Salty AF is me, okay? So I'm going to do this in the reverse because I might put a voiceover with it. I don't know what I'm going to do, okay? But at least you got the gorgeousness of the looks, okay? So, you know, my eyebrows, they're filled in using my Goof pencil by MAC. No, this is by Benefit, okay? Benefit Cosmetics 3.75. Now, my foundation is Pat McGrath, okay? I wore it to work. It looked great. It looked great. And I just added on some more bronzer, which is my Mented Vacay bronzer because I barely put on any bronzer. And then my eyeshadow primer is my matte Contemplative State. My blush is my Nightbloom blush by McGrath Labs. And this is what she looks like. And then I took an OG, and this is a favorite. If you have any like peachy, goldy, you know, highlighter, you can use that. This is the Maybelline Master Chrome highlighter, and this was actually a collaboration that they have with Puma. Absolutely love it. For my waterline, I went ahead and used my Blitz Blue pencil because, you know, why not? It's definitely working with this look. It works with this look too. And I was going to do a green liner, but I felt like it might be a little bit too much green. Versus this look, you have like blue, you got a little hint of purple, you got a little hint of green, you know, you got some differentiation of color. But this one you do, but you don't. You know what I mean? And then I went in with my Dollface lipstick, and this is a matte cream. What is this? Matte liquid cream or lip cream. Actually, this is by Blend Bunny Cosmetics. I can't believe I just did that. So, these looks I love. I'm back in the reverse, okay? Because I ain't got time. I don't have time, okay? And I said earlier, I love these looks. Gorgeous, okay? I love this eye, but this eye right here, it is just, it's doing something for me. Yeah, so is this one. I mean, beautiful, beautiful, okay? So I did go in for my NYX glitter glue to apply my shimmer shades. I basically went in with my finger, except for right here, because I didn't want to carry the shade too far over onto the lid, which I knew what would happen. I knew that would happen if I used my finger because I don't have as much control. But I used this little tiny Tarte brush that I've had for 50 billion years, okay? This is like in a life prior to YouTube. So just to pick up that small amount. And then just to kind of correct where you saw right here, I used my flat definer brush by Sonia G. I love this brush for inner corners. It also helps me just get my shadow where I need it to be, you know, fix any like messy lines, get them together after applying shadows with my finger. Now, you probably could apply these shadows without the NYX glitter glue, but honestly, any type of multi-chrome at this point, I'm putting it on with some NYX glitter glue, okay? Where it's going to be some mix and medium. It's going to be something to help the shadows just adhere. And these shadows, they just have a lot of slip to them, a lot of mica, because they're very smooth. So I tend to notice that things like this, like right in here over time, the longevity is just going to go away. I love this product. And also, you know, it doesn't take very much effort. And it doesn't feel like heavy on your eyelids. Oh, my eyelashes are also the Demi Wispy eyelashes by Ardell, okay? Now, the looks are beautiful. The mattes, I feel like she has improved the mattes. You know, we do have more mattes than we usually have, but this one right here, James Holder, really impressive. Like, it looks mustardy. Like, and not just on me, but I could actually see the mustardy in the camera and in the finder, which I'm looking at now, or my monitor. And then we do have Edward Rosnes. So on this side, I was like, let me see if I can just kind of change the hue of this particular shade, because this is the darkest shade that we have for the outer quarter. So that's why I went in here. And then I decided, okay, I'm going to go in with Daniel Brickwell. But it's more of it's a lighter shade. It doesn't have as much pigment to it, but really, really pretty. But I was like, hey, let's just throw a little bit of this in here. And I just love that gradient. It just does something to it. Because normally, honestly, when you have multi-chromes, I try not to put too many of them together because it's like you can't really enjoy the shifts. It kind of throws off the shifts. Everything just sometimes just looks like one color versus several colors that are supposed to shift different colors. So yeah, sometimes I'm just careful about this. Now, this shade, Isabel Rakev, oh my gosh, with this little like light blue with the hints of gold. Ooh, that is pretty. So everything is really pretty so far. The Frank Bertini shade is gorgeous too. I do feel like it looks like kind of a standard multi-chrome that I probably have somewhere in my collection, but I like it. But everything is applying really well. The matte, especially the dark matte, it did not blend out into dust. It stayed put. So I didn't have any problems, you know, when I blended it out. That I'm happy, very happy about that. do feel like this shade is pretty, but I wish it was just a tiny bit more pigmented, but in the overall look, it's working for me. So I'm gonna take this off and we're gonna do another couple looks. So I'm gonna do two, because it's just like a whole lot of green. I mean, I've used, let's see, I've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the shivers. So we'll see. We'll see how I land in just a moment. am back, and here are another two looks. So this look I like, but I'm not like, oh my gosh. I really like this shade. I also really like this shade right here. But this shade, I don't know if it's for me. It's a little rough. I don't know. It's a little flaky. That's Warren Patel. Like, I know it's a topper, but I don't know. It feels rough. It's just not for me. Yeah, it's not for me. This is beautiful. Also, so what I realized what shade is for me is this, what is it? Isabel Rock. This little blue with this gold flip. Right here, bringing the light to the eye, to this dark, sultry eye. Really pretty, really great performance. Although, if I'm honest, this shade is probably like any other shade that we've seen a lot of shades like this as a multi-chrome. So, as you can see, it has that turquoise to purple flip. We've seen a lot of shades like this, but nonetheless, it's very pretty. And I just paired it with the mattes and it blended out well, it applied well. Of course, I went in with my glitter glue. Really happy with these two mattes, the Nelsa, this one and this one. Now, I would definitely say this matte needed some building up. So you definitely get the intensity of the yellow. But when I kind of mix these two together, you kind of lost the differentiation of colors. But I think the only shade that I'm just not really so much a fan of is this one. But other than that, we're good to go. So, okay, we're going to do one more look. All the face details are the same. We're going to do one more look, and then we're going to wrap up. Okay, I am back, and this is the fifth and final look. I love it. I love this look so much. It is so pretty. And what did it for me was just adding the blue on the outer corner, because you saw I had the green, and to me it was just raining. It was just too much pink and green going on. But adding that blue really just brings out this shade right here, which is called Leo Mueller. And it is like, so when you first look at it, it's kind of like a shade that you've seen before. Like, we've all seen like the pink to kind of green shift with a little bit of purple in it. Like, maybe think about Blitz Extreme. No, not Blitz Extreme. What is it? Sextraterrestrial by like Pat McGrath, right? In Divine Rose 2. Yeah. Did I? No. Is that the shade? And my Divine Rose 2 palette is not here. What's the shade? Y'all know. The one in Divine Rose 2. Y'all know. Okay? So at first it's kind of giving those vibes. And you know, we've seen so many palettes with those particular shades, so many multichromes that are just separate singles. But this, it has, so it's pink, it's shifting green, it definitely has some orange in it, and a little bronze. So it's really, really stunning. Like, this is a shade. So when I saw this shade, it kind of brought me to the palette. When I saw the swatches, I was like, oh, this is really, really pretty. And just pairing it with the blue just really brought out all the different colors in this particular shadow. So far, this is my favorite look. My second favorite look would be the second look I put on this eye with, you know, I had the blue, and then I had these greens in this shade, and well, yeah, it was the second look I did. But overall, I really like this palette. I really enjoy it. I think it's well done. The shimmers are really great. The shade that I do not like would be Warm Patel, okay? Now, my mattes that are a favorite are here, here, and here. I'm not sure about this one yet. I didn't have a problem with it, but I don't think I care for this one. And there's nothing wrong with the performance. I just don't think I care for it, just to be honest. But I do appreciate how this one shows up. This one, it could just be a little bit darker, but for the looks that I created, it works, you know what I mean? But I feel like it should be a little bit darker. You do have to build it up. Same with this one. This one, like I said, I don't know. I just wasn't dealing or feeling the apple green. And first initial reaction, when I first started doing my first look, I was like, oh my gosh, I wish there was just a different color, you know, that was deeper in order to build my looks with, you know, especially with putting something on the outer corner. But you know, putting this over this, it just kind of really helps this blue pop. You can use the blue by itself. You could probably go ahead and use this one as an outer corner also, because it's pretty deep. So you can get some different looks. I do feel like this is a palette where you can get different looks, but you kind of have to plan them to figure out where to get the different looks versus, like, you know, if you do here and here, you're going to get the same looks. But I feel like all of the shades are pretty much different to a degree. You know, like I said before, this particular shade, I feel like this is a multi-chrome that we've seen kind of like time and time again. So it's pretty, but it's nothing really special about this particular shade. And I would say the other shade that's probably like that is here. But I feel like they both serve a purpose in the palette. But like I said, I've seen those type of shades over and over again. But this one is really special. This is beautiful. The blue is really nice. I feel like it's just a standard, you know, sky blue, but it's a really pretty, just straight up shimmer sky blue. I really love this one with this gold flip, because you could definitely put on the inner corner. This one's nice on the inner corner too. This is the only shade I'm like, it just feels rough. It feels icky. It doesn't feel like, it just doesn't really even adhere well as a topper. But overall, I like this palette. I like the new format. I still have my little plastic over it. It feels Adept, but it feels like freshened and renewed, because, you know, it's not just like a 2-row palette like we've seen with majority of the palettes. And like, I feel like the packaging is so pretty. Like, maybe I should just take, you know, the plastic off so you guys can actually see the true beauty of the palette. Like, once again, I don't know anything about the show that this palette is based off of. And I feel like I know I saw some comment that it was based off of maybe first season or second season. I don't know. I like it. Okay. All right. If you're not a green lover, stay clear. Okay. I like green shadows, so that's not a problem for me. Now, I do feel like this palette is a companion palette and a standalone palette. Like, I've gotten some beautiful standalone looks. Like, this look right here is just, it's like one of my favorite looks I've ever done on my channel. Seriously. It's really different, really unique. I feel that way about a look I did with my Blends Bunny all done up, and quite a few. Like, every once in a while I have a look, like, if I was just to pick and be like, favorite looks across the channel, this one would make it in there also, okay? But the performance is really, really nice. I really like these smooth shimmers. Like I said, I would just probably just use the glitter glue. You don't have to, but that's my personal preference. And I feel like you just get the best longevity out of your shadows like that. And they're going to pick up and look bright and opulent and shiny. You're going to get all the shifts. And when we have shadows like that, that's what you want. You want to be able to experience that on the eyes. I feel like you can use some brushes with these particular shadows, but it's probably going to be best to use your finger and then go ahead and fill in the little gaps and the blanks and where you want to clean up your eyeshadow look with a smaller detailer brush. But I really like this. It's gorgeous. It really is. So, like I said, I have not too many complaints. Like I said, I was just this shade, okay, and then this one. I mean, honestly, if we're going to tell the truth about it, this blue shade, we've probably seen a time or two, but I feel like it's less occurring than definitely this shade. Like, we've seen that shade. I mean, like Forge from Cleona. Cleona got dupes on itself over this shade. You know, I kind of pulled that out amongst all the little shimmer palettes that have come out. But the blue, I would say no. Like maybe once or twice. I don't feel like I see that all across my collection. So let me know, what is your favorite look? I didn't think I was going to do 5 looks, but someone just told me, I was just like, you know, I haven't really played with enough of the shadows because we had 2 rolls of the shadows to do the 3 looks with. And like I said, sometimes these shadows, they just look better when you don't put on a bunch of shadows. And honestly, with some of the shimmers, you can't put on too many shimmers, you know what I mean? So leave me a comment down below. Let me know, what is your favorite look? I already told you mine. And then my second favorite was the second look. And let me know, did you pick up this palette? Are you going to get it on a restock? What are your plans? Give this video a big old thumbs up. Hit the notification bell so you know when I come out with another video, which will be soon. And subscribe to my channel because, you know, I would love to have you here in my little makeup family. And with all of that being said, you already know what time it is. It's time for the Chaddies. Hey, 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 Chaddies. Chaddies. Hey, Chaddies. All right, y'all. Bye.